Lia Thomas's teammates, who I've talked to many of them at great lengths, they were forced every single week to go to mandatory LGBTQ education meetings to learn about how just by being cisgender, they were oppressing Lia Thomas. They were told that you can't take a stance because your school has already taken your stance for you.
That their message to the American people is that men can get pregnant? Really? That you should swim on the men's swim team for 3 years? Switch to the women's team and you can be the women's national champion?
Riley Gaines and a lot of other people on Twitter are going scorched earth against Lia Thomas because of this picture right here, and let's get into why. As you can see on the screen right here, it says trans swimmer Lia Thomas, formerly William Thomas, has now embraced the Trantifa branding in new photos posted on social media. Trans violent militancy is the current focus of Antifa, and as you can see, here is the picture that Lia Thomas posted on Instagram. If you don't know why this picture is so bad or why people are so up in arms about it, such as Riley Gaines, it's because Lia Thomas here is wearing a shirt that says Antifa Super Soldier. Now let's check out what Riley Gaines and the others have to say about this shirt of Lia Thomas, or this picture of Lia Thomas wearing this shirt that says Antifa Super Soldier. Like, it's just wild to me that Lia Thomas has the balls, like no pun intended, has the balls to wear a shirt like this after what he did, you know, to all the other women swimmers, straight up taking medals, taking awards away from them, taking the competition away from them. It's stolen. And then afterwards, he has the audacity to wear a shirt that says Antifa Super Soldier, pretty much just mocking everybody that he stole all those competitions from, and the psychological harm that he did to people like Riley Gaines. Let's check out what Riley Gaines and, like I said, some other people had to say about this Lia Thomas situation. Riley Gaines says, "Doesn't this make so much sense? I haven't specifically bashed Lia Thomas on anything other than calling him an entitled narcissist, which I stand by, because ultimately he was following the rules in place, but this is disturbing." So it does. It all kind of makes a whole lot more sense now. Lia Thomas was probably always this way from the jump. I don't think that this person just randomly changed their mind and decided to embrace the Antifa stuff, the Trantifa stuff, as Andy Go says. Wearing a shirt that says Antifa Super Soldier is just a horrible look. And like I said, I can't believe that Lia Thomas would have the balls to do that after causing so much psychological harm to everybody that he did, all the women that he stole those competitions from, and the women that he was forced, or that he forced to compete against him. Let's see what else Riley Gaines has to say on this Lia Thomas situation. People have been going absolutely scorched earth against Lia Thomas, and Riley Gaines is definitely included in that. Let's check out what she has to say here.
Lia Thomas's teammates, who I've talked to many of them at great lengths, they were forced every single week to go to mandatory LGBTQ education meetings to learn about how just by being cisgender, they were oppressing Lia Thomas. They were told that you can't take a stance because your school has already taken your stance for you. When 16 of the girls and their parents, they sent an email to their administration expressing their discomfort in the locker room. And their administration responded back with, "If you feel uncomfortable," and I swear I have a screenshot of the email, it says, "If you feel uncomfortable seeing male genitalia, here's some counseling resources that you should seek." They were told, "You will never get a job. You will never get into grad school. You will lose all of your friends."
So if you feel uncomfortable with extreme mental illness being pushed onto you and saying that you should accept all of this mental illness being around you that can cause actual psychological harm to you, and we found out afterwards that it did cause extreme psychological harm. I mean, you can even see Riley Gaines, I think even in this video here, she starts to break down a little bit, man. And we've seen Riley Gaines talk about the Lia Thomas situation in the past and talk about the effect that Lia Thomas had with being in the women's locker room and just stealing the competition from everyone. And you can see that, you know, Riley Gaines does get quite emotional, and you can imagine some of the other girls actually have come out and said that, yeah, it made them extremely uncomfortable, and still to this day, when they think back on it, it makes them extremely uncomfortable. So it definitely caused some psychological harm, and the fact that they sent an email, Lia Thomas's teammates sent an email to their administration and said, "Hey, we're uncomfortable with this. We shouldn't be getting educated on this mental illness. We shouldn't get this forced on us." And they said, "No, actually, you're the one with the mental illness. It's not the person that's a man cosplaying as a woman that's also stealing competition from the other women, not only in that room, but across the country. It's not that person that has the mental illness. It's you. It's the person that's against that person that has the mental illness, and you should seek help. You should seek therapy." It's just wild, man. It's just crazy, the world that we live in and what's celebrated and what's punished.
If you do speak out and any harm whatsoever comes towards your teammates' way, Lia's way, then you are solely responsible, and you're responsible for potential death. And you don't want that, do you? Of course not. Who would want to be responsible for a potential death? But that's the emotional blackmail that they were using to scare these girls.
And that's going to work because a lot of people are good people. Like those people who are Lia Thomas's teammates are most likely good people. Even the ones, and the lefties are going to say that this is crazy, but even the ones who aren't extremely tolerant of your insane ideas, yes, those people are still good people. And for the longest time, the reason why we're in this position is because they are such good people, because they are so understanding and empathetic, because they didn't push back hard enough in the beginning. Why we're in this situation where people like Lia Thomas are stealing competitions and causing psychological harm to these people like Riley Gaines and the rest of the people who are in those locker rooms. The reason why we're in this position in the first place is because of how good these people are, because they don't want to step on any toes. They want to be empathetic. They want to be understanding. So these people are good people and they know that. So they're going to use that emotional blackmail like Riley Gaines talks about right there by saying, you don't want this person to commit toaster bath, do you? You don't want to be intolerant to the point where Lia Thomas commits toaster bath and then you're responsible for that loss of life. You don't want that to happen, right? And everybody in the room is like I said, good people. So they're going to say, of course not. Of course we don't want that to happen. We don't want to be responsible for that. We must be tolerant of this. It's just disgusting, man. Like these people will go to any length possible in order to push their agenda, in order to further their agenda. It doesn't matter if it's emotional blackmail. It doesn't matter if it's psychological damage to the women in the locker room. It doesn't matter if it's loss of competitive integrity. It doesn't even matter if it's loss of brain function, because they even have men competing against women in combat sports. It doesn't matter what it is. They'll go to any length in order to further their agenda. They don't care. Let's check out also Ron DeSantis going scorched earth as well. I said it's not just Riley Gaines, it's also a lot of other people just going after Lia Thomas recently. And ever since that picture was posted, that Antifa super soldier picture was posted by Lia Thomas, I have a feeling a lot more people are going to come out of the woodwork to absolutely destroy Lia Thomas, and rightfully so.
We're up against a movement that is parroting woke ideology, that their message to the American people is that men can get pregnant. Really? That you should swim on the men's swim team for 3 years, switch to the women's team, and you can be the women's national champion? Most people don't buy that. And so I think we have an opportunity to really capture a lot of voters by representing a platform of common sense and sanity and traditional American values.
Lia Thomas was obviously standing next to you around the podium when this happened. Did Lia say anything?
Not a word. We're standing basically right beside each other, and I'm looking at this official, and really I'm probably mouthing off more than I'm letting on here, because I'm looking at this official and I'm like, you know how wrong this is. You see this is a man. What are you talking about? Do you not see the problem here? Lia doesn't say a word, doesn't offer the trophy, nothing. And I want to reiterate, the tangible trophy itself, not having it, was not an issue to me.
Right.
I'm a 12-time All-American, so I have lots of those at home. It's not the trophy that I was just dying to hold in my hand and take home with me, but it was the principle behind what was happening, and really what the NCAA had allowed to happen. Especially, they clearly weren't prepared for a situation like this.
Yeah.
But how they handled it under that pressure was just mind-blowing.
But let me know what you think in the comments about Riley Gaines and a lot of other people, as well as Ron DeSantis absolutely destroying Lia Thomas. And what do you think about Lia Thomas actually having the balls to wear a shirt like this, Antifa super soldier? Pretty wild, man. Pretty wild in my opinion. Let me know what y'all are thinking in the comments about this entire Riley Gaines versus Lia Thomas situation.